Sarah felt a phantom buzz in her pocket, a notification that wasn't there. It was a sensation she'd grown used to, a reflexive check for messages or updates, even when her phone was silent. For years, her phone had been her constant companion, holding her schedule, her social life, and her anxieties. It was the first thing she reached for in the morning and the last thing she put down at night, a lifeline to the world but also a source of endless noise. The idea of being without it felt almost unthinkable. What if she missed something important? What if someone needed her? The thought alone made her uneasy, as if she might lose her place in the world. But this weekend, she made a pact. From Friday evening to Monday morning, her phone would be off and out of sight. She wanted to see what life felt like without the constant pull of notifications and screens. The first hours were uneasy, her fingers twitching for a device that wasn't there. She kept glancing at the empty space on the table, feeling a strange sense of loss and restlessness. By Saturday morning, the silence in her apartment felt full, not empty. The quiet was no longer unsettling but comforting, a gentle reminder that she could exist without constant input. She made coffee and finally opened a book she'd bought months ago. The aroma of fresh coffee and the weight of the book in her hands felt grounding, almost luxurious. The pages felt real, the story immersive, deeper than any digital scroll. She found herself lost in the narrative, her mind wandering through worlds she'd forgotten she could visit. The urge to document or check faded away. She stopped thinking about sharing every moment and instead, she simply lived it. Later, she walked her neighborhood with no GPS, no podcast, just noticing details she'd always missed. The colors of the flowers, the sound of birds, the laughter of children playing nearby. These small things felt vivid and new. The world felt richer, more present. She realized how much she'd been missing, distracted by a screen instead of the life unfolding around her. By Sunday, her phone felt irrelevant. It sat untouched, gathering dust, no longer the center of her attention or her day. She spent hours talking with her sister, their conversation unhurried and real. Without the constant interruptions, they laughed more, shared stories, and truly listened to each other. As she prepared to turn her phone back on, she didn't feel excitement, just resolve. She knew she didn't want to fall back into old habits, letting her phone dictate her attention. The weekend had shown her what was possible. She felt lighter, more connected to herself and her surroundings, and grateful for the space she'd created. It wasn't about abandoning technology, but about reclaiming her time and attention. She realized she could use her devices with intention, not compulsion, and choose when to be present. She realized she could choose presence over distraction. Each moment was a decision and she wanted to make it count. This was the start of a quiet revolution in her own life. A new chapter where she could balance connection with solitude and technology with true presence. Sometimes, the most radical change is simply to be present. In the stillness, she found herself again, and that was the greatest rediscovery of all. We live in an era of constant connection. Everywhere we look, people are tethered to their devices, on the street, in cafes, on public transport. Our digital lives are always within arm's reach, shaping the rhythm of our days in ways we rarely pause to consider. Our devices are the first thing we reach for in the morning and the last thing we see at night. Before our feet even touch the floor, we're already plugged in, checking messages, scrolling through notifications, and catching up on what we might have missed while we slept. These screens promise us efficiency, instant information, and a sense of social connection. They offer a world of possibilities at our fingertips, making it easier than ever to stay in touch, stay informed, and stay productive. We can talk to loved ones across the world in real time, access endless streams of knowledge, and organize our lives with a simple tap or swipe. The digital world has become an extension of ourselves, woven seamlessly into our daily routines. But this convenience comes at a cost. The more we rely on our devices, the more we feel their pull, sometimes in ways that leave us feeling anxious, distracted, or even isolated. Social media, news apps, and entertainment platforms are carefully engineered to keep us engaged for as long as possible. Every swipe, every like, every notification is designed to capture our attention and keep us coming back for more. The infinite scroll and constant notifications create a feedback loop that's hard to escape. Each alert promises something new, something urgent, making it difficult to put our phones down, even for a moment. Our attention is pulled in a dozen directions at once, leaving little room for stillness or reflection. We're constantly multitasking, rarely giving our full focus to any one thing. Solitude and boredom, once sources of creativity and self-discovery, are now rare. The quiet moments that once allowed our minds to wander are quickly filled by the glow of a screen. Any quiet moment is quickly filled by a screen. Waiting in line, sitting alone, or even sharing a meal. These pauses are now opportunities to check our devices rather than simply be present. Even in the company of others, we're often alone together, each absorbed in our own digital world. The art of conversation and genuine connection can be lost in the constant hum of notifications. This digital environment shapes our routines, our thoughts, and even our relationships. It influences how we communicate, how we work, and how we experience the world around us. We've traded the quiet potential of an empty moment for the certainty of digital distraction. The space where ideas once bloomed is now crowded with endless content and constant noise. The architecture of our digital world is built to capture and monetize our focus. Every click, every scroll, every second of our attention is valuable to someone, somewhere. We're not just users, we're the product. Our habits, preferences, and even our time are bought and sold in the attention economy. The result? A life that's always on, but rarely present. We move through our days connected to everything, yet sometimes disconnected from ourselves and the world around us. The question is, what are we missing in the process? What moments, insights, or connections slip by unnoticed while our eyes are fixed on a screen? And what might we gain by stepping away, even briefly? A chance to reconnect with our thoughts, to notice the world, to simply be. The answer starts with a single, intentional pause, a moment to reclaim our attention and rediscover the value of being truly present. In today's hyper-connected world, perpetual connection comes with hidden costs that often go unnoticed. Our brains aren't built for constant input. The endless barrage of notifications and messages leads to cognitive overload, making it difficult to process information or find moments of peace. We feel exhausted, yet struggle to focus on one thing at a time. Multitasking becomes the norm, but our attention is scattered, and our productivity suffers. Social media amplifies comparison and anxiety, showing us only the highlight reels of others' lives. It's easy to forget that what we see online is carefully curated, making our own experiences seem less significant. The pressure to perform online adds stress, turning life into a digital stage where we constantly seek validation through likes, comments, and shares, often at the expense of our own well-being. Ironically, these tools meant to connect us can leave us feeling isolated. Surrounded by people, we can still feel alone as genuine face-to-face interactions are replaced by fleeting digital exchanges. Digital interactions lack the depth and warmth of real conversation, and as a result, loneliness quietly grows, even when we're constantly connected. Work and personal life blur together. Emails and messages arrive at all hours, and the expectation of constant availability never truly ends, making it hard to ever fully relax. Our homes become offices, boundaries erode, and burnout follows. The spaces meant for rest and family are now filled with the pressures of work. The promise of flexibility has become the reality of never switching off as screens invade every corner of our lives, even the moments meant for sleep and relaxation. We need real connection, real rest, and real boundaries. Time spent with loved ones away from screens is more important than ever for our mental and emotional health. The first step is recognizing what we've lost and what we can reclaim. By setting boundaries and being intentional with our time, we can rediscover balance and reconnect with what truly matters. In response, a quiet movement is growing. It's not about rejecting technology, but about using it with intention. People are curating their digital lives, choosing quality over quantity. They're tired of performing for social media and crave authenticity. The decision to step away is a search for genuine living, less broadcasting, more being. Deep focus is becoming a superpower. People are creating barriers against distraction. They're deleting apps, setting boundaries, and reclaiming their attention. This is a rebellion against the attention economy. Every minute offline is a minute reclaimed for something meaningful. It's a quiet revolution, one that starts with a single, deliberate choice. As people disconnect, they rediscover the richness of the analog world. It's not nostalgia, it's about engaging the senses and finding joy in the tangible. Slow, immersive hobbies like hiking, gardening, or painting offer a reset for overloaded minds. Nature demands patient observation, not instant feedback. Working with our hands, knitting, baking, woodworking, brings a sense of accomplishment digital life can't match. Reading physical books encourages deep focus and quiets the mind. Bookstores and libraries become havens for those seeking escape from digital noise. These analog experiences ground us, offering presence and satisfaction. Sometimes the simplest activities are the most restorative. One of the greatest rewards of disconnecting is rediscovering real human connection. Without screens, we notice body language, tone, and emotion, building true intimacy. Families engage in shared activities, not just shared space. Friendships deepen through real conversations and time spent together. Even brief interactions with strangers become more meaningful. These moments create a sense of belonging and community. Presence is the foundation of strong relationships. In a world of digital noise, real connection is a rare and vital gift. Disconnecting, even briefly, brings immediate benefits. Anxiety drops as the constant stream of alerts fades. Mood and happiness improve when we focus on real joys, not online comparisons. Our minds become clearer and more creative when given space to wander. Boredom sparks insight and problem solving. Sleep improves when screens are set aside before bed, leading to better health and energy. A screen-free wind-down routine signals it's time to rest. The result is deeper sleep, sharper thinking, and a brighter mood. Small changes can have a big impact. Sometimes the best self-care is simply to unplug. You don't need a radical overhaul to find digital balance. Start with small steps. Create screen-free zones like the dinner table or bedroom. Schedule your screen time instead of letting it fill every spare moment. Turn off non-essential notifications and declutter your digital space. Try a digital Sabbath. Just a few hours each week without screens. Use that time for analog activities you enjoy. These breaks remind us what life feels like without constant input. As you get comfortable, extend your periods of disconnection. Balance is a practice, one that gets easier and more rewarding over time. The goal isn't to reject technology, but to find your own digital equilibrium. Technology is a tool, its value depends on how we use it. Mindful, intentional use puts us back in control. The right balance is personal, it's about what serves your values and well-being. Experiment, reflect, and adjust as needed. As more people make intentional choices, we can shift culture toward presence and depth. Every person who reclaims their attention contributes to positive change. This is a hopeful movement, proof that we can shape our relationship with technology. By disconnecting, we run toward richer experiences and deeper connection. The beauty of life beyond the screen is waiting to be rediscovered.